And here we are once again with Church Chat.
Hey.
Here comes our theme right here. It's Church Chat with Pastors Dan and Dave.
And James.
Come hang out with us on our stream. It's Church Chat Wednesday.
It is Church Chat Wednesday. We're feeling fun. We're having a good time. I'm Pastor Dan.
I'm Pastor Dave.
And there's Jimmy Adkins over there.
Are we the only ones who call you Jimmy?
No, that's pretty common.
Is it? Is it?
Pretty common, I have to say.
Jim? What about just Jim? Do you get any just Jim?
Actually, yeah, I don't get much Jimmy. I get Jim. Pensacola Jim is what some of my bandmates call me.
I still like Jimmy and the Bluff Tones.
Jimmy and the Bluff Tones. Speaking of Jimmy and the Bluff Tones, Amy Marshall will be on here with us just a little bit. I think, is Olivia going to be on with her too?
Yes.
All right, Amy and Olivia, who are a couple of students at Bluffton who happen to be playing in our praise band quite a bit. Great young adults. And just want to talk to them a little bit about what that experience has been like. So they've been really fun to get to know. And
My wife loves
yeah.
Amy's voice and Spencer's voice.
Yep. It's been a really cool thing to have them kind of get added in. And so we'll tell the story a little bit about how that happened.
Spencer does the Gungor song, You Make Things Beautiful.
Oh, You Make Beautiful Things.
Make beautiful things.
Yeah.
Every time my wife's like, I'm not going to cry.
She cries every time.
That's an emotional song for her for some reason.
They
he does
always,
a good job.
My Bluff Tones always make fun of me for picking songs that are old like that. They call that old, by the way.
That's for them quite old, I'm sure.
But I'm always picking stuff from like the 90s. So that really pushes their buttons.
Well, that is old now. What? 30 years ago. So
I don't know, but the song that you closed with this past weekend, I love it.
The song that you picked out?
Yep.
It's always interesting how you love the stuff you pick.
But they did a great job. That had to be a tricky song.
Yeah, it took some doing.
Well, there's nothing too challenging. Nothing too challenging for them. So,
let's not test it.
Okay.
No, let's not test it.
Have you ever seen, do you remember the show Whose Line Is It Anyway? Yes. There was where they would have the sketch where Ryan and Colin would be talking about like a compilation album, and then they would just pick a musical style, and they had like this theme, whatever this theme was that they were going on, and they'd throw it over to Wayne Brady, and he'd have to sing a song in that style about that topic on the spot. And to make it more complicated, you had this pianist over there who was having to figure out how to play that style. And I think Laura Hall maybe was her name. I was a big fan, but it was always just astounding to me. Like, not only that he could come up with that song, that musical style, and just make up a song on the spot, but that she could play something like reggae, go. And it's like, she's just playing some reggae and he's singing along. You musicians are you're a different breed, man.
One of my absolute favorite shows I've been to was right here in Findlay. It was at the Marathon Center, and it was an impromptu improv musical.
Wow.
With 4 acts. So it was literally people from the audience put topics in a hat.
They start calling stuff. Okay, they put topics in a hat. And they pull it out, and
that's
unbelievable.
It was so hilarious.
Like, I like to think that I'm pretty quick-witted, but that is just a whole different level.
I mean, it was a musical too, so there was songs and everything.
That's absolutely unbelievable.
I don't like mowing my lawn in the rain was one. I remember that, so it was funny. Good stuff.
So what's not funny is 4 inches of snow in April.
Okay, We have been so blessed with beautiful, beautiful weather the last two. And today we have it all. We got some snow. It's pretty warm. We still have the green leaves. We still have the birds singing. Still have a long day. I'll take it.
Dave is Mr. Accentuate the Positive today.
Yeah, are you okay?
It's the Chris Vickers in me.
Chris Vickers from last week still kind of just keeping you positive on everything. Mm-hmm. So here's, you expect there's going to be something dumb like this in Ohio. It just kind of, it feels like it happens more often than not, that there's some crazy weather thing that happens when it's not supposed to. Here's my issue. You know I like the garden. I put my garden out early, but I've got these lids that I can put on it with plastic. You know, it's got like, it's basically painter's plastic that's see-through so the sun can get through. It makes it, it's called a cold box. So it's basically like a mini greenhouse effect kind of thing. So as long as you don't get too cold, which is supposed to get pretty cold tonight, you're all right. And your plants are going to be fine. So I've got that. So not too worried. I have some other things in pots. I can bring them in the house. Betty, my puppy that I lovingly purchased for my children, decided to see if they were trampolines and jumped straight through all of them and destroyed them, 3 or 4 days before it's supposed to snow.
Nice.
So
Maybe
they are not exactly snowproof right now. They have been totally destroyed. And so I've got this hodgepodge of some painter's plastic with wood that's barely hanging together. I threw some cardboard boxes over top of where the holes are. We'll see if any of my garden survives into the weekend. If it makes it to the weekend, I think we're good. Tuesday is supposed to be in the 80s.
Right.
I mean, whatever. So I don't know. So anyway, that's my...
How does Betty like the snow? Because I posted a video. Chubb, I think it's his first time in the snow. And every time he'd kick it up, he'd chase the snow cloud.
Yeah. She's not that excited about it. She's more... I mean, she just gets excited about everything. When she gets a toy in her mouth, it's like she's on drugs. Like she goes insane. I have a toy and I'm so excited. Like can't hold still and like it's like on you. Like, hey, I've got a toy. It's like, I don't care. Get off, But the snow, she ran around in it, but she's excited about everything. So snow, great. Squirrel, great. Fuzzball, great. It doesn't matter. Like she's just happy.
Gotcha.
She's just excited.
Life is good.
So, James, how's it been going with your dog?
Mostly good. We're working on. You know what's funny? We watched some training videos and stuff. He's really good until he's doing something, like he's out in the wilderness, and then he'll start. Like you want to yell. If you yell for him to come back, and he realizes you're not happy with him, he will then smartly think to himself, well, if you're not happy with me, then I'm not going over there.
I should run away.
And then he runs away and he does his own thing.
Do you say when you're out in the wilderness?
Well,
like where are you going?
Field,
like I was just in Yosemite. And,
when he's away from base camp.
Yeah, exactly, away from base camp. But in any case, and then he's such a big scaredy cat that he'll actually, if I go and grab him, he'll whine and cry like I'm cutting his foot off. It's just ridiculous. But anyway, so one thing I've learned in watching some of these dog videos, I assumed that me going out and running him all the time was the key to having a calm dog. But in actuality, they really don't. Maybe I should turn my camera on while I'm talking. So in actuality, a lot of people are saying if you run him all the time, you're training him to run all the time.
Yeah.
Right? And so...
No, you need a lazy dog.
If you want a lazy dog, what you do is you reward lazy habits.
Absolutely.
So, like, as soon as he lays down and take a nap, you're like, oh, hey, maybe I'll give you a few little treats.
Yes.
Because you laid down and started to take a nap.
Yes. That's why our other dog, Faith, but she's a sausage roll with 3 legs is what she is. And she just lays there. Best dog. Right. Does nothing, barks at nothing, cares about nothing.
Well,
sleeps 20 hours a day. She'll get up and play when you want her to get up and play. She'll, after 5 minutes, she's like, you know what? I'm good.
Yeah,
I'm going to go
thanks.
lay down.
Thanks for the invite.
And
So-
let me know when it's dinner time.
So now we're working on that. We're working on turning our Tucker into Faith and not Betty.
Yeah. Now, listen, I'm not saying that that's healthy, right? That's not healthy. That's like a human being is the same kind of way.
We
like
may split the difference between Faith.
you should try to find a happy medium. Yes, there's got to be a happy medium in there somewhere. Faith is getting better. I hope that they pull each other towards a happy medium where Faith isn't just a piece of furniture that we have to feed.
Yeah.
And where Betty, is not this crazy hyper, puppy all the time. That they pull each other towards the middle where Faith's like, hey, you know what? It's okay to lay down sometimes. And where Betty's like, yeah, but can we just go for a run real quick? Like, okay.
Yeah.
Right. There's got to be, there's a medium in there.
Good times. Teach each other.
Yeah.
Takes a village.
Takes a village. But yeah, so all that to say, if my garden survives this weekend, I'll be very excited.
I hope it does.
I do too.
I hope
worried.
that most of this sogginess is gone because I am now, for the first time in about 15 years, a soccer coach again.
Oh my goodness, I'm so excited for this. All right, so you're Gabe's soccer coach,
Yes.
and
And Gabe spent 5 seconds on the soccer field Saturday, and every time he did, it was to steal somebody's ball with his hands. And yeah, so I'm like, good times. Nice spending time with you, buddy.
how much experience do you have playing soccer?
I played soccer all the way up and through high school.
Did you really?
from
I
middle
didn't know
school
this
to high
about you.
school, and was actually going to play college and got in a car accident. Went through the windshield. Back.
I didn't know you were that much of a soccer player.
And I coached for 23 years.
Really?
Yeah.
Wow, man! All these hidden talents I don't know about.
I don't know if it's a talent. I just coach kids because
What position did you
they
play?
like me halfback, which is not even a thing anymore.
Oh,
I think they call it midfielder now.
okay.
But yes,
That was left forward.
nice.
I would have played more soccer if it wasn't for you've got to run. I didn't like that part.
Yeah, you got to run like the wind.
See, baseball was great. It's like at the most you have to run for a triple. You're not hitting it in the Parker, right? You sprint down to first base, call it good. If you hit it really good, which never did, you get to run 2 bases, maybe 3. Hit it over the fence, you can just jog. Like the best players get to jog. That's awesome.
Yeah.
I'm down with that. I can.
Lazily jog too.
Yeah, that's right. Take your time.
I'm going to show off a little.
Yeah, take your time. Yeah, round that out. Just make sure you touch the bag. Yeah, it's all. Yeah, just short sprints, and then you know what? Let's just pause. Even get 2/3 of the way through. You know what? We're just getting time out. We're gonna sing a song, song about eating snacks, and just we're just gonna pause. How much we love this game. Everybody good? All right, let's do some
keep
more.
going.
Yeah, let's keep going. They have people that if you're pitching and you have to work a lot, they have people that are like, time out, come out. Are you tired? Do you want to stop? Do you want us to get somebody else to do this? I love that. That's fantastic. That's a great sport. That's a great sport.
I've never seen it through that lens. That's awesome.
Hey, Babe Ruth, one of the best of all time, used to go and just eat hot dogs and chain smoke in between innings. I mean,
He's like the John Daly of baseball.
he's a great athlete. I can appreciate that. Absolutely. That's why it's America's pastime. That right there. So I see some friends.
You ready for?
I'm ready.
You ready for some interview action?
Let's do it.
Okay, let me turn a bunch of knobs and wheels, set the hamsters running. All right, and we have our guests.
All right.
here.
Amy and Olivia, how you guys doing?
Good.
It's just the two of you, right? I can't really see the screen from where I am.
Well, Annalise is here too.
Hi,
but-
Annalise. How are you?
Hi.
So, all right. It looks like you're in a dorm. Are you in a dorm right now?
Yes,
All
we're
right.
currently in my room.
All right, which dorm do you stay in?
We're in Rop Edition.
Rop Edition. I think Holly was in Rop at some point in time when we were at Bluffton. So,
I'm in Hershey.
and you're at Hershey.
Yeah.
Got it. Awesome.
But not right now.
But not right now, not currently.
Not right
And it's not Hershey spelled like the candy bar. It's with an I.
Is that where we went for the thing we set up with the tables?
I don't know what you're talking about. Oh no, that was over in Marbeck.
Okay.
That was in Marbeck Center. So, well, thank you guys so much for being with us. I know that I'm sure that you guys, and as most of the campus does, just watches Church Chat religiously every Wednesday at noon. So this is probably a big
yeah.
thrill for you guys to be on. But I just wanted to ask just a little bit about. So you guys kind of found St. Mark's through, I'm guessing, mostly through James coming and playing last year at Chapel. Is that right?
Yeah.
Yeah. So just like, what's your experience been like, going to college and trying to figure out how do you kind of keep some sort of sense of a faith community, and especially during this kind of crazy time? What's that been like for you?
Okay. So I think, like, for me, like, coming to college, like, it took me a long time before I found a church that I actually liked. I mean, it wasn't really until James invited us to St. Mark's. I think, like, right now with, like, COVID and everything, the biggest thing is, like, trying to be intentional about it, just because, like, I think normally it's kind of easier to have your group of people and like having the opportunity to talk about God and everything. But since it's been so much harder to plan events that you can just go to this year, I mean, it takes more work to try to like put a group together and I mean, spend some time with God together, whether it's in worship or just kind of talking. But yeah, I'd say it's a lot to do with just being intentional.
For me, so as a transfer student, I was coming in as a junior, and I didn't know anyone here, like, at all. My mom grew up in Kidron, so I was a little familiar with Ohio in general, but yeah, didn't know anyone. So coming here, I lost a lot of my community. I lost my school community, my home community, my church community. Like, they were all back home, and they still try to stay in touch, but, it's different. And so coming here, I really, like, I had my personal faith journey and stuff, and I liked going to chapel, but I didn't really find a community church, really, because I wasn't sure how it would be so different. Like, I'm used to going to, like, a Sunday night church, so Sunday mornings, first of all, not used to that. So that's been an adjustment, but I know that, like, last semester I had gone to, or last year, before COVID, I had started going to St. John Mennonite Church, and it was for a couple different classes, helping with the youth group and stuff like that. But then COVID happened, and I left, and then came back, and I didn't really feel an outreach there. Not saying that they don't do that, but, I just didn't feel the connection there. So I started this semester really going to a couple different churches, and then, yeah, Amy and Spencer and stuff at St. Mark's, that was like a draw, and I was like, I'm going to go there. And then being able to be involved in the worship there has been very enjoyable, especially during a time where worship doesn't really is a no-go in a lot of places, right? And so it's getting me back into music, which I've really appreciated. I'll probably go into your next question, but
yeah. Well, yeah. So tell us a little bit about, like, what is it that draws you into, both of you, to being a part of, like, a worship team, and, like, what do you kind of get out of that, just being a part of the people that are leading us in worship, using music and the skills God's given you in that way?
Well, I've really enjoyed leading worship. I mean, I was like really, really young the first time I did it. I come from a very musical family, and when I was little, I wanted to be exactly like my aunt, and she was part of the praise team. I was convinced, we lived in Maryland for 2 years, and I was convinced that I was going to come back to Ohio from Maryland specifically so I could be on the praise team at my church. But like I kind of started there, and she taught me a lot. And I think it was probably in high school when I was really able to take on some more leadership in the worship that I really found a lot of meaning in it. Because before that, it was more like I just really liked singing. I really liked harmonizing, that kind of thing. But when I hit high school, worship became a lot more meaningful. And I think like even now, like when I get to lead worship, I really like to be leading other people in worship. Like it's not about me, and it's about the people in front of me. And really, it's one of those things, like it's my goal to help provide a space where people feel like they can worship. And I think like especially this year, we haven't been able to have music in chapel for a while. We have it back in a sense right now, but I mean it's not normal, and it's one of those things like it's just not the same. Like, and I think especially this year with not being able to have music in chapel, we really realize how much of an impact it makes. And I think like that makes going to St. Mark's even greater, because I mean we do get to have the space to actually sing and worship with music. But I mean I'm looking forward to it being back to normal, just because I really enjoy being able to kind of create that space for people to connect with God through music.
Yeah, so similar in the sense of like growing up in a musical family. I'm the youngest of five kids, so I have 4 older siblings. And so growing up, like there's a big age gap too. So like growing up and seeing all the cool things they did, you know, looking up to them doing choir and participating in music was always something I wanted to do. I was like, oh, my siblings do that. That's cool. And so I joined choir in school, and in high school I helped with the chapel team with music. And as a senior, like leading worship was really cool because just like the opportunity for leadership just felt like, you know, I went to a Mennonite high school, but there weren't a lot of Mennonites. I mean, it's kind of similar to here at Bluffton. So, and, you know, just I think helping guide in a way through music with worship, like just your faith. Music is just so important. And then I also helped my brother with worship at my home church in Delaware. Oh, cool. So yeah, so then being able to carry that through here has been really great. Like I really enjoyed getting to participate in chapel last year. And like that was like when James was there, and then after that, just getting to do that in a whole new setting was really cool. And I love getting to work with people through that, and then with St. Mark's, just getting to meet new people, and I feel like I'm kind of strengthening some of those abilities, because it's been a while since I've gotten to do music, since I'm not at my home church a lot of the time now because of school, so it's been great experience.
Well, we definitely appreciate having you with us. I mean, it's added so much, and there's just always something beautiful about seeing, you know, new people come in and helping us to worship well, and that's been a really awesome thing. And Annalise, I know you're there too, and you've contributed not with the music part, but with some of your art more than once. You know, kind of helping us decorate things, and it all enhances that experience. And you guys have mentioned James a couple of times now. Why do you think it is that James picks out such old songs all the time?
I like the old songs. She does not agree with me.
That is something that there's some beef there. But I mean, I think it was because like there was one week where Spencer and I think picked like most of the music, and we picked all newer music, and we kind of made a joke like, oh, all these songs were written after like 2015 or something. So since then, every week, like the first thing I do usually when I look at the music is like, okay, what year was the copyright date on this?
Stop being ageist.
And it's really, really funny too. Stop laughing at me. But it's really funny too because like even for chapel, when he first started helping with chapel, we would. I mean, to Spencer and I, they were just totally like mainstream Christian songs, like "Good Good Father," and like we would mention them and say like, oh, do you know this one? Do you know this one? And he never knew any of them. So like, I mean, I feel like Spencer and I deserve some credit for kind of widening his view of Christian music a little
It's a
bit.
good thing you can't see me right now. Making gestures.
I wish I could see your face.
See, I'm over here. The first worship I helped with at St. Mark's, I got here, they gave me the list, and I was like, I don't know any of these songs. They were all so new, and I was like, oh no. All these
You're
new
more into the
chords.
older songs. Is that what you're saying?
Yeah.
That's why I
I'm
brought
really-
Olivia
I'm
in, so I'd
really
have someone
older
on my
songs.
side.
See, it's not that I don't like the old songs. It's just really fun to, make fun of James more.
Well, and when you
Kind of
say
make fun-
old songs, you're talking about songs that were probably written between the time that I was born and you were born. So, like, these are the songs of my youth.
songs
And you're like, oh, this is before I was born. And it's like, it hurts my feelings. But anyway,
Hey, I bet we could list some old songs that she wouldn't know, so they'd be kind of like new songs,
Yep.
right?
that's right.
That's
right.
true.
That's right.
That's true. There have been some songs that I haven't known, and I really really like them, and then I realize that they're old, but that doesn't make me like them anymore.
James,
Like,
let's
I still like
do
them.
El Shaddai this week. Can we do
Right.
El Shaddai?
Friends are friends forever.
Well, and the other good thing is sometimes I sing the melodies, what might be considered wrong or might be considered different, and so that makes them a new song altogether again.
So there's a term for that. It's called Jamesifying the music.
there
Every
a
week when
term?
I'm looking through the music, I try to determine which song is going to be Jamesified.
If
That's
not more than
amazing.
one.
I love it.
I'm usually right.
Is
too.
this the King James version?
Yes, it's the King James version.
Oh, Lordy.
I think this has turned into a roast.
A little bit.
Well, I just want to encourage you guys. My wife, my family, we just love the job that you guys do, and I hope that after you are done with school and you go on to your lives, wherever that may be, and find jobs and that sort of thing, that you guys plug in and keep sharing the gift that you bring to us, because it's awesome.
Yep, absolutely.
Yeah. And we've got some more time here, so let's see. How about each of you take about 5 minutes and tell everybody why St. Mark's is so great?
I like you.
and of course, the worship leader at St. Mark's. No, I'm just kidding. Don't do that. I'm just messing with y'all.
But no, we do appreciate you guys. What has been what's been a hard time, a weird college experience for you guys? Where have you seen God doing some really good work? Where have you seen God show up in the midst of all of this? As hard as some of it might have been, just how have you experienced God?
I definitely have an answer to that. We had the Brandon Lake concert on Sunday. I definitely think like this semester has not been easy for, I think probably most people on campus. But we had a really, really good turnout for the group that came to the Brandon Lake concert. And it was like an amazing night of worship. And we had some prayer time. And we heard from one of the pastors at Bluffton Community. He talked a little bit. But I think, like, especially as we're kind of winding down for the semester, a lot of people that I know have just, like, completely lost motivation. We're just kind of done. We're sick of COVID. We're sick of, we're ready for it all to be done. And I think, like, this past Sunday, really, like, it impacted a lot of people a lot. And I know that I've gotten a lot of feedback from the students who went to the concert, and they got a lot out of it. And I think, like, part of that is the fact that, like, we haven't had music during chapel, not as normal, and this was just, like, such a solid night of worship, and it was awesome. It was awesome.
Very cool.
Excellent.
So,
Good.
okay. So for me, I'm a senior, so this is my last semester. Cue all the tears. Yeah, and I feel like I've been having to go through a lot of processes of like grieving, for the loss of what I thought the college experience was going to be, or the loss of not being able to cram as many people around a table at dinner as you possibly can like even if you're like distancing yourself to try to fit as many people in. Those are things I really miss. And so like grieving that process, and again, being a transfer student, I've only been here for 2 years. I feel like now I'm really getting to these really strong relationships and getting closer with people. So that's been very hard. But I feel like I have done some of the most growing I've ever done personally. Like just with other personal things going on in my life, I've grown exponentially in figuring out who I am, and how I am. You know, just figuring out how I interact with people, and just the importance as an extrovert, especially, the importance other people are to me, and relationships. That's really, I emphasize so much in my personal life and in like a professional setting, getting to know people's genuine self. And in the midst of a pandemic, figuring out what grace looks like, and what does like working at the best capacity you're able to offer during this time, when you're not even, when like your best looks different than how you've ever operated. That's been like adjusting for myself and for others, and giving grace to know that like it's not all going to be peaches and roses and stuff. And so I think something that I have seen this semester is just the genuine connection I've had with getting to know so many people, and getting to, take another step in friendship, even though I'm departing a little bit. And I think, you know, there's a point we had for a few weeks, we did a little bit of a worship night on a Sunday night, and just getting to see all the people, the different people that came each week, and have a time of worship. It's kind of like an underground thing, so it's not like a university sanctioned, if anyone from the universities. It's not happening anymore. It was safe. There were masks and stuff.
Yes, there were masks.
But I think it's just so genuinely needed in the middle of the semester. And just getting to, bear each other's hearts and be there for times that were hard was really great. And, you know, as again, the semester's closing and we're kind of all done with homework, and senioritis is really kicking me.
It does that.
Figuring out what's important, you know, is this assignment that's going to be late going to affect you 5 years down the road, or are the friendships? And I think that's something God has really been calling on me, is just, you know, the people. People are what's important.
Well, I think that for us, we can't say enough about how much we appreciate that you've been a part of, that you've made us a part of your college experience, that you've allowed God to use your giftedness, and that we've gotten to be the beneficiaries of that at our church. And I hope that it's been a mutual experience for you as well, that it's been something that you felt like, man, this is something that's been helpful to you in your faith experience and in your college experience as well. I just think the more and more that we can do of that as a church community, you know, coming together with people who are, I mean, college, I mean, you guys know it's a very transformative time that you're in the middle of right now, and the church can't be absent in that. So just glad that you are a part of our church, and you'll always be a part of our church no matter where you end up moving back to. And and if you're ever, you know, when you do move away sometime, if you're ever back in the area, you guys have to come back and see us. And we'll even put a microphone in your hand if you want. So, but thank you guys very much for all that you do. We appreciate you very, very much.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
We love St. Mark's. We love St. Mark's. I'm speaking for analytics too.
Well,
I don't know how we would have gotten through this year without St. Mark's, honestly. And you guys and James and I'm speaking for Spencer too. He's not here. But.
Well, we're thankful for you, and just so glad that you guys have found us and that we found you, and probably we should probably say Holly probably also has something to do with some of this. I mean.
Yeah.
We'll give
another person. I don't know what I would not have gotten through the semester without Holly either.
We'll give her a little bit of credit today. So
And Holly does say, "Hey, ladies." And Tina Miller says, "Love Spencer and Amy. They sang at my Emmaus walk last year in February."
Oh yeah, yeah, that's
So
right.
appreciative.
That's right.
Yeah.
Very cool. All right. Well, thank you very much for joining in. Thanks, Annalise. I know you're back there somewhere. And hope you guys have a great rest of the semester. And especially as work towards graduation time and all the things that come along with that. Just thank you guys so much for being a part of the church and for sharing your gifts with us.
Absolutely.
Yes, thank you.
All right.
Yes, thank
Take
you.
care, guys. We'll see you.
Bye.
Bye. Oh man, I love that we are doing stuff with college kids.
Yeah.
It's so much fun, and kudos to you, James, for I know that's we didn't really totally dig into it, but Bluffton at one point in time was at a place where they didn't have somebody to help lead chapel, and so James ends up going there and doing that, and that's how a lot of those connections were formed, and then didn't take long before not only was he playing there, but they were playing here. And just being able to be that church where a bunch of them came and found a home during college is a big deal.
And honestly, I didn't do as much as you might think. I mean, I got in there and Amy was basically running the services when I got there. When you do that kind of stuff, like there's other stuff to consider, and there's like getting the rehearsals together. So just having kind of someone that's in charge to make the decisions when they need to get made. I'd say that's all I really did. And then after a semester, I mean, we didn't even talk about it much. I just quietly left because that's like, you guys don't need me. And I think Spencer and Amy have been pretty much handling the services down there. And
Yeah.
they do a great job. We're a lot better off from their influence for sure.
Yeah, it's interesting. I actually had somebody the other day ask, like, from a different church, say, "Hey, so like, I heard you have like college kids at your church. How did you do
How
that?
did you do that?
Yeah.
Like, how did you do it?" It's like, well, it started with going onto the campus
Yeah.
and serving them, and not just putting out a blanket invite saying, "Hey, come be here." It was, James went there, Holly's working there. I've gone there a little bit, but not nearly as much as them. And, you form those relationships. They feel connected and they come be a part of it. And I think that churches for so long have just had this idea of, well, if we invite college students and we have pizza, they'll come. Like it's more than that, man. It's more than that. You have to actually go say, "Hey, we see you. We care
It
about
took
you."
some thinking outside the box.
Sure.
Because the reality is, I've worked at St. Mark's for over 20 years, and if I had a nickel for every time I heard, we're in a college town, how we need to start a college ministry, well, some of that has to do with knowing your landscape.
Yeah.
The reality is that the University of Findlay, 85% of the kids there live within an hour and 15 minutes of campus.
They're gonna go home.
So you could do cartwheels up and down the middle of the campus on the weekends
Doesn't
because it's
matter.
dead.
Yeah.
Nobody schedules classes on the weekends because they all go home. And College First Church, they do a really good job
Yep.
of hooking into the kids that are there.
Mm-hmm.
And so all that might make sense on the top surface of it, but it really took some thinking outside the box.
Yeah.
Like, I guess we look at another college.
Well, and it's kind of a see a need, meet a need. They
Yep.
had a need. James could fill that need, and then we've discovered, there's not just a need for music, there's a need for community. So, okay, well, we can, you guys are welcome to come be a part of that. And, I know we have James, you'll often take them. You guys will be having lunch after service or something like that. We've had them over for lunch and that kind of stuff. And there's nothing, remembering back to my college experience, one of the coolest things was getting to go into a real life home. And have actual food. It's like, ooh, I don't need a tray.
Yeah.
And, and just, I can go sit on someone's couch and pet their dog. Like that is a thing that you don't always get in college, and you kind of don't realize you miss it until you have that place where you can go and you can just kick your shoes off and you can feel like, hey, I'm home. It's cool. You know, there's a place I can go and kind of relax. So to be that kind of a place is I think really impactful. So, and to say, yeah, you can come and you can get up on stage. Like, we're not going to make you come and just stay here.
Yeah,
you know.
right.
But yeah, sure, come on in, do your thing.
You are a part of the life of the church.
Absolutely, you're a part of this thing. So, and I hope as there's graduations, and you know, that's another part of the college. A part of the reason I think churches also don't get into college ministry is, I don't know how to say this kindly. It's not profitable. They're not going to give, and they're going to go away. Like, that's what's they are not going to stick around.
Right.
You have them 4 years max if they find you freshman year.
Right.
Probably won't. They'll probably find you a sophomore, junior year, and then they go away. But that's okay. Like, I mean, the thing we kind of talk about is we're sending our kids somewhere. You know, your kids are going to be somewhere else. I hope when I send my kids somewhere, that there's a church there that says, yeah, come on in. You know,
Absolutely.
that says, get in here. You know, we
You know,
want you to be
Amy
part
brought
of
up
this.
something though that, and it was about being intentional, and especially with everything being online. And I just went to dinner with a friend of mine, and that was actually his thing. Was we haven't been back to worship since because it's just too easy to sit home, and we're trying to make that leap. Kudos to them for being intentional, because we're in a time now where it's it has become so easy for people. Our intent was not to keep you away forever. It was to get us through this, and so I do hope that there are more people who intentionally come back.
Yeah, there's something very special about. There's no doubt. There's something very special about just being able to do this in person. You know, and so we have this kind of debate in our, in our minds, and sometimes we talk about it with one another. Does online ever go away? And it probably can't ever go away, because the reality is it does meet a need. But there's like this little part of you that wants to say, can we make it go away and force people to come back?
Yeah.
Can we make it go away for a while so people have to come back? It's the only chance you get to worship is you got to come and be here. But like you said, there's an intentionality about it, and we talk about it all the time. Just, it's got to be wherever people are. We've got to reach them where they are. We'll find ways to continue to do that. But yeah, good on them. College students, and like, I love what Olivia said. Like, I gotta get up so early in the morning to come here because we have our service at 11:15, which for college students is like the crack of dawn. It's like, I was used to an evening service. I gotta get up on a weekend and be somewhere. What time do you have rehearsal?
What time do I have?
Yeah, rehearsal like Sunday
St.
morning.
Mark's?
Yeah,
10 o'clock.
10 man, they got to be here. So she probably has to get up at 9. Man, what are you doing to her? It's a miracle that we're able to get these people here.
I'm a cruel slave driver.
But I mean, in college, that's true. I mean, that's really early.
Oh yeah.
That's and to do that on a weekend is it takes a commitment. So good on them. Good on them. I love it. And again, I love that we're doing stuff with college students. And
Absolutely.
I hope that, I don't know if they're still watching or not, but I hope that that someday, as they grow and mature and they move on and their lives move on, that they're able to look back on this time, the things they were able to do in the worship band and at our church, look back on it and say, man, that was pivotal.
Yeah.
And that was important in my faith journey and my college journey. That kept me afloat. That kept me going. And if we can do that, man, we've done a really good job. So
It's about changing lives.
there you go. There you go. Anything else for the good of the order, sir?
Nothing.
All right. Well, we've kind of been announcing a lot of this stuff, but we're going to keep it in front of you because, man, there's just a lot of really cool stuff. I was talking with the leadership team last night about some of the stuff we have coming up. it's going to be really good. So just to kind of give you a little heads up of what these worship services are going to look like, especially starting in May, we've got Barry Burns is going to come in and speak, our district superintendent. We've got Doug Kendrick, who's a young guy who's grown up in the church and is, moving into a life of ministry, studying to be a pastor. So he's going to speak a little bit. We're going to have on the 22nd, the World Vision 6K for water at Emory Adams. Have you been running? I've been running. Been running a little bit.
I will never run.
Okay. Soccer coach. This is like on full circle,
I'm retired.
You're retired.
Yeah.
Okay. You can just teach.
I can walk.
He's got a really loud whistle.
Yeah.
So we've got that happening. Make sure if you have any questions about that, sign up. 23rd, Baptism Sunday, Pentecost Sunday. It's going to be awesome. It's just going to be a great service. Really excited for that. Then it'll be shortly after that. There's also our youth and confirmation and graduation Sunday. So lots of good stuff coming up. So if you haven't been back in person and you feel comfortable doing that, we'd love to have you back in person. Invite a friend, invite a neighbor, invite someone you don't like. We'd love to have people come and be a part of this. And it's going to be a really cool thing. If you want to be baptized, let us know.
Yeah.
We want to baptize.
Dunking some, right?
We're dunking. We're sprinkling. There could be a super soaker involved. I don't really know. But somebody's going to get water on them and they're going to get baptized.
The whole first row is going to get ponchos.
That's right. There is a splash zone. Yes. Yeah. So we'll put ponchos. Yeah. Have you seen the video of there's this pastor who's doing a baptism and he body slams the guy into the tank? I kind of want to.
And I like the one where the little kid, he just can't wait.
He just runs and jumps in.
Yeah.
I did a baptism. I've probably told this story. I did a baptism not that long ago. It was just a sprinkling, but the kid who I was baptizing, he just walked up to the bowl, grabbed the water, put it on his head, and went and sat back down. It was the best thing I have ever seen. I was like, well, that was quick. It's self-serve.
Gabe is getting baptized that day.
Right.
And so we have no idea
how that's going to go.
Yeah. I mean, I have a feeling I'm going to go to sprinkle him and he's going to see people getting dunked and he's going to dunk.
He's going to want to jump in.
And then if he does get dunked, it has to be at the very end of the service.
There's some really good baptism songs out there, James.
Oh, yeah.
That have been written, some that have been written in the last couple of years. So you might have to ask Amy about those. But there's some good ones out there.
Might have to do holy water again now.
Oh, yeah, that could be good. Corinne will cry. She loves to cry.
Perfect.
All right. I think that's all. Yep. So worship again this weekend, 9 a.m. traditional, 11:15 contemporary. You guys got youth group?
Yes.
Youth groups happening also. So
3:30 to 5.
There you go. And we hope to see you there. And if not there, then online. So have a great day. And Tucker is what? Can Tucker sit? Can you get Tucker to howl on command?
Actually, he did howl the other day, and I will send a picture or a video to you guys. But
not along with the song.
Not along with the song. He probably won't even hear it. Maybe if I put the headphones on.
Dogs can hear everything.
Let's see.
All right.
Here we go.
Let's do this. All right.
This might not work very well. Okay, here we go. Let's play this. Don't worry, everybody. It's not very loud. All right, here we go. Come on, buddy. Sing it. Okay.
It's Church Chat with Pastors Dan and Dave.
Hey, Tucker.
Come hang out with us on our stream. It's Church Chat Wednesday.
All right, we'll see y'all.
Take care.